My name's Jenna, and I learned the hard way that some people will do anything to live rent-free. When my roommate Sarah moved out last October, I was desperate to find someone to split the rent on our two-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. The place was perfect, close to the subway, actual sunlight, and only $2,400 a month, which in New York terms meant I'd hit the lottery. But alone, I couldn't afford it. I posted on every roommate-finding app and Facebook group I could find. Within hours, I had dozens of applications. Most were normal, young professionals, grad students, people who seemed relatively sane based on their profiles. Then I got a message from someone named Alex Chen. The application was perfect. Too perfect. Alex was 26, worked remotely as a graphic designer, non-smoker, no pets, quiet, clean, and could move in immediately. The references checked out, the background check came back clean, even the Instagram profile looked normal. Pictures of coffee, art museums, and scenic walks. We scheduled a video call for the next evening. Alex appeared on screen exactly on time, sitting in what looked like a generic hotel room. Friendly smile, professional demeanor, asked all the right questions about utilities and lease terms. Nothing felt wrong. We talked for 20 minutes, and by the end, I'd decided to offer the room. "I'll transfer the deposit tonight," Alex said. "Can I move in this weekend?" "Sure," I replied, relieved to have the rent situation solved. The deposit appeared in my Venmo within an hour. Alex moved in on Saturday with surprisingly few belongings, just 2 suitcases and a backpack. I helped carry them up the 4 flights of stairs to our apartment. "Traveling light?" I joked. "I like to keep things minimal," Alex said, with that same friendly smile. The first week was fine. Great, even. Alex was quiet, kept the common areas clean, and we'd occasionally chat over coffee in the morning. I felt lucky to have found such an ideal roommate. But then, I started noticing small things. Alex wore the same 3 outfits in rotation. The same gray hoodie and jeans, the same black t-shirt and khakis, the same navy sweater and dark pants. I figured maybe it was just a minimalist thing, or maybe money was tight. Then I noticed Alex never seemed to receive mail. No packages, no letters, nothing. When I asked about it, Alex said everything was sent to a P.O. box because of a stalker situation from a few years back. That made sense. I dropped it. 2 weeks in, I realized I'd never seen Alex eat. We'd have coffee together in the morning, but Alex always claimed to have already eaten breakfast. In the evening, Alex would say they'd grabbed dinner on the way home from a coffee shop where they liked to work. I never saw food in Alex's side of the fridge, never saw takeout containers in the trash. "Are you okay?" I asked one morning. "You're not, struggling with an eating disorder or anything? I'm not judging, I just want to make sure you're all right." Alex laughed. "No, nothing like that. I just eat out a lot. I'm terrible at cooking." Another reasonable explanation. But the strange observations kept piling up. Alex's room was always silent. No TV sounds, no music, no video calls. When I'd walk past the door, there was just nothing. Like the room was empty even when Alex was supposedly inside. One night, I got up at 3 a.m. to get water. Alex's bedroom door was open, something I'd never seen before. I glanced in as I passed. The room was completely empty. No furniture except the bed. No decorations, no clothes, no laptop, nothing. Just a bare mattress with a single blanket and those 2 suitcases sitting closed in the corner. It had been 3 weeks. Who lives like that? The next morning, I casually mentioned it. "Hey, do you need help getting furniture? I have some extra stuff in storage if you want it." "I'm good. I don't need much." That weekend, I did something I'm not proud of. When Alex left for a coffee shop work session, I opened one of the suitcases. Inside was my lease agreement, my bank statements, copies of my credit cards, my social security card, which I kept in a locked box in my room, photos of me that I'd never posted online, printouts of my daily schedule, a list of all my passwords. Under all of that was a folder labeled Jenna Martinez Identity Acquisition Phase 2. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside were blank checks from my bank, a fake ID with my name and Alex's photo, credit card applications in my name, a detailed timeline. Week 1 to 2, establish trust. Week 3 to 4, gather documentation. Week 5, execute transfer. Week 6, original subject relocation. Relocation? I knew what that meant. I heard the apartment door open. "Jenna?" Alex's voice called out. "I forgot my charger. You home?" I froze. I was standing in Alex's room with the suitcase open and the folder in my hands. There was no way to hide what I'd found. Footsteps approached down the hallway. I grabbed my phone and locked myself in the bathroom, the only room with a lock. My fingers fumbled as I dialed 911. "911, what's your emergency?" "There's someone in my apartment. They're trying to steal my identity. I think they're going to hurt me." "Ma'am, can you tell me your location?" I gave them the address, whispering even though I could hear Alex now standing outside the bathroom door. "Jenna," Alex said, voice different now, flat, emotionless. "I know you found it. That wasn't supposed to happen for another week. This is going to be more complicated now." "The police are on their way," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "No, they're not," Alex replied, calmly. "You're calling from inside the apartment. I control the router. That call didn't connect. It's just you and me." I looked at my phone. The call timer showed 000. It had never connected. "Here's what's going to happen, Jenna. You're going to open the door, you're going to pack a bag, and you're going to leave. If you do that, I'll let you walk away. I'll give you $10,000 in cash to start over somewhere else. All I want is your apartment, your credit, and your life here. You can build a new one." "You're insane," I whispered. "I'm practical. I've done this 4 times before. It works. Sarah, your previous roommate, she didn't move out. She took the deal. She's in Portland now. Different name, living fine. The Sarah before her is in Austin. They're all doing great." My mind raced. I tried to open my phone to call for help another way, but it was frozen. No signal, no Wi-Fi. "You killed the internet," I said. "I control a lot more than you think, Jenna. I've been preparing this for 6 months. I know your routine, your friends, your job, everything. I can be you better than you can be you. All your social media, I've been practicing. I even know about that embarrassing thing that happened at your company party last year that you've never told anyone." Ice ran through my veins. How could Alex know that? "Open the door, Jenna. Take the deal. Or I can make the other option happen. The relocation I mentioned in the file, that's for people who don't cooperate. You don't want that option." I was trapped. The bathroom window was too small to climb through, and we were on the 4th floor anyway. My phone was useless. No one knew I was in danger. "I need time to think," I said. "You have 60 seconds, replied Alex. I stared at myself in the bathroom mirror. Was I really going to let someone steal my entire life? Could I actually start over? Or was I going to fight? I heard Alex's phone ring outside the door. "What?" Alex snapped, answering it. Then after a pause, "No, I said I had it under control. This is my operation." There was a long silence. "Fine, but you owe me." Alex's footsteps retreated down the hallway. I heard the apartment door open and close. I waited 5 minutes, then 10. Finally, I unlocked the bathroom door. The apartment was empty. Both suitcases were gone. Alex had vanished. But on the kitchen counter was an envelope with my name on it. Inside was $10,000 in cash and a note. "You got lucky. My partner insisted we abort. Consider this a gift for the inconvenience. Don't try to find me. Don't report this. If you do, everyone will know about the company party. Enjoy your apartment, Jenna. I've already moved on to someone else." I called the police anyway. They found nothing. No Alex Chen in any database. The references were fake. The background check had been fabricated. The Instagram account was deleted. Even the Venmo payment had come from an account that no longer existed. I still live in the apartment. I changed all my locks. I monitor my credit obsessively. I've never found any evidence that anyone tried to steal my identity. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder about Sarah. I wonder about the others Alex mentioned. And I wonder whose lives they're living now. Look, I've been grinding at data sync solutions for 4 years now, and I thought I'd seen it all. Layoffs, sketchy mergers, bosses who couldn't manage their way out of a paper bag, the whole 9 yards. But Cameron? That was some next-level weird stuff. Cameron showed up on a random Monday in March. We'd been busting our asses trying to cover for Lisa ever since she bailed 3 months earlier. No 2 weeks notice, no goodbye email, just gone. Management was desperate, so they fast-tracked the hiring process. 1 week we're drowning in work, the next week we've got a replacement. "All right, guys, listen up," our manager Derek said during stand-up, interrupting the usual Monday morning zombie shuffle. "This is Cameron Wells. Came with some seriously solid references. Going to be taking over Lisa's accounts." Cameron did this little wave and smiled. Nothing crazy, just your standard corporate pleasant face. Average height, dark hair, all neat and professional, dressed like every other office drone. Pretty forgettable, honestly, except for the eyes. I don't know how to describe it, but they were just off. Like really focused and sharp, but somehow dead at the same time. Creepy. "Hey, happy to be here," Cameron said. "Can't wait to dig in and help out." First day was whatever. Cameron got set up, started poking through Lisa's old files, typical new hire stuff. Derek assigned me as Cameron's onboarding buddy since I sit closest and knew Lisa's projects. Around 3 p.m., I rolled my chair over to check in. "Hey, so if you've got questions or need me to walk you through anything, just holler." "Thanks, Rachel. Actually, I already wrapped up that client migration Lisa was working on. The Henderson account? Pushed it to production about an hour ago." "Wait, what? That project's been stuck for like 2 months. There's no way." "Tested and deployed," Cameron said, turning the monitor to show me. Sure enough, there it was. Complete. Perfect. 0 errors. That should have been impossible. Lisa had been struggling with that migration for weeks before she left. The code base was a mess, documentation was garbage, and the client kept changing requirements. But somehow, Cameron knocked it out in, 5 hours? On day 1? Dude, that's insane. How'd you figure out the database schema so fast? Cameron just shrugged. Made sense once I looked at it. Weird flex, but okay. Maybe Cameron was just one of those crazy talented developers. We've all met that person who makes everyone else look like they're coding with oven mitts on. By the end of week 1, Cameron had cleared Lisa's entire backlog, every single project. Stuff that the rest of us assumed would take months. Derek was thrilled, practically doing backflips in our Friday retro. "This is exactly what we needed," Derek gushed. "Cameron, seriously outstanding work. The rest of you should take notes." "Thanks, Derek. Love the passive-aggressive motivation." But here's where things got sketchy. Cameron never took breaks, like ever. No coffee runs, no lunch, no bathroom breaks, nothing. I started paying attention because it was bugging me. Cameron would sit down at 9 a.m. and wouldn't move until 6 p.m., just typing, clicking, staring at the screen for 9 straight hours. "Yo, you want to grab lunch?" I asked one day, trying to be friendly. "I'm good, thanks. 8 before I came in." Every day, same answer, 8 before I came in. I never saw Cameron eat anything, not a granola bar, not gum, nothing. Then there was the bathroom thing. Look, I know it's weird to notice, but when you work in an open office, you kind of subconsciously track when people get up. Cameron never did, not once in 3 weeks. I mentioned it to my work buddy James during a coffee run. "Maybe they're just really focused," James said. "Some people get in the zone." "For 9 hours? Without peeing? Come on, man." James laughed it off, but I could tell he thought it was weird too. Week 4, I started noticing Cameron's work wasn't just fast, it was too perfect. Like nobody writes code that clean on the first try. No bugs, no typos, no logic errors. Every single commit was flawless. It was like watching a machine work. That's when I got curious about Lisa. I pulled up Lisa's Slack history, her old emails, anything I could find. She'd been a solid developer, not amazing, but competent. Then, about 2 months before she left, her work quality just skyrocketed. Suddenly, she's closing tickets twice as fast, her code reviews had 0 comments, and she's volunteering for the nightmare projects nobody wanted. Just like Cameron. Then one day, she just stopped showing up. No warning, no explanation. HR said she'd resigned effective immediately and refused to elaborate. I tried texting her, but her number was disconnected. I dug deeper, found out there was a developer before Lisa, guy named Marcus. Same deal. Joined the team, became crazy productive, then vanished after about 2 months. Before Marcus, there was someone named Priya. Same pattern. They all took the same desk, the desk Cameron was sitting at now. My stomach started doing backflips. During a late night in the office, I was pulling OT on a deadline. I decided to do something stupid. I walked over to Cameron's desk after everyone left. The computer was locked, but the desk drawers were not. Inside the bottom drawer was a thin folder. I opened it. Employee onboarding paperwork. But not Cameron's. It was Lisa's. And underneath that, Marcus's and Priya's. All the way back to someone named David from 6 years ago. Every single one had the same hiring date, the first Monday of March. Every single one had the same emergency contact, a phone number I didn't recognize. And clipped to each packet was a small photo, like a headshot, but the faces were weird. They all looked similar, not identical, but like variations on a theme. Same facial structure, same empty eyes. The folder had one more thing, an email from Derek to an address I didn't recognize. Deployment successful. Previous unit retired. Will monitor performance for 60-day cycle. Unit? Retired? I heard a sound behind me. Cameron was standing there, smiling that same empty smile. You should go home, Rachel. It's late. I was just looking for a stapler. You weren't. You were looking for information about the previous employees. I grabbed my bag and tried to move past Cameron, but the door to our office section was now closed. I didn't remember it being closed. Here's what's going to happen, Cameron said, voice completely flat. You're going to forget what you found. You're going to go home. You're going to keep working here and not ask questions. Or what? I tried to sound brave, but my voice was shaking. Or I'll request a transfer, and you'll take over my accounts. Cameron tilted their head slightly. And then you'll become very, very good at your job. Just like Lisa did. Just like Marcus. Just like all the others. The lights in the office flickered. What are you? I whispered. Efficient. Cameron smiled wider. Your company paid for efficiency. We provide it. When an employee underperforms, we replace them, optimize them. They become much better workers. Everyone wins. Where's Lisa? Where are the others? Still working, just somewhere else, doing what they do best now. Cameron pulled out a phone. I can call my supervisor if you'd like. They can explain the program, and then you'd be enrolled too. I ran. Didn't grab my coat, didn't clock out, just bolted for the stairwell and didn't stop running until I was 6 blocks away. I quit the next day via email. Told Derek I got another offer, had to start immediately. Sorry for the short notice. I didn't go back for my stuff. That was 4 months ago. I found a new job at a smaller company. Every time someone new gets hired, I watch them carefully. I check if they take bathroom breaks, if they eat lunch, if their work is too perfect. Last week, I got a LinkedIn message from Lisa. Her profile showed she's working at a Fortune 500 company now, senior developer. The profile picture looked like her, but the eyes were different, empty, focused. The message said, "Hey Rachel, hope you're doing well. My company is hiring if you're interested. The work is really fulfilling. You'd be perfect for it. Let me know." I blocked her immediately. But 3 days later, I got the same message from Marcus, then Priya.
Then someone named David. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they've become or what's controlling them. But I know one thing. I'm never going back to DataSync. And if you ever start a new job and meet someone who's impossibly good at everything, who never takes breaks, who's just a little too perfect, run before you become perfect too.
My name is Marcus, and I've been working the graveyard shift at the Quick Stop gas station on Route 47 for 3 years now. In that time, I've seen a lot of weird stuff. Drunk people, lost travelers, the occasional shoplifter, but nothing prepared me for Mr. Harrison. He first came in on a Tuesday night around 2:47 a.m. I remember the exact time because that's when I always restock the coffee station, and the door chime interrupted me mid-pour. "Evening," he said, his voice flat and emotionless. He was maybe 50 years old, average height, wearing a gray windbreaker and khaki pants, the kind of guy you'd forget 5 seconds after seeing him. He bought a black coffee, a package of beef jerky, and paid in exact change, thanked me, left. Nothing strange about that, right? He came back the next night, same time, 2:47 a.m. exactly, same outfit, same items, black coffee, beef jerky, same exact change. I started wondering if he worked nearby, maybe a factory or warehouse with a weird shift schedule. "You work around here?" I asked as I bagged his items. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Something like that." The third night, I decided to pay closer attention. When he walked in at exactly 2:47 a.m., I glanced at the security camera monitor. He was there on screen, pulling open the door, but something felt off. I couldn't put my finger on it. Same routine, coffee, jerky, exact change. "See you tomorrow," I said, testing him. "Yes," he replied, "you will." By the end of the first week, it was becoming unnerving. Every single night, 2:47 a.m., same outfit, same purchase, same bland smile. I mentioned it to my manager, Derek, when he came in for the morning shift. "Probably just a creature of habit," Derek shrugged. "We get regulars all the time." "Not like this," I said. "It's exact, down to the minute, down to the change in his pocket." Derek looked at me like I needed more sleep. Maybe I did. On night 8, I decided to break the pattern. When Mr. Harrison came in at 2:47 a.m., I had already made the coffee and had his beef jerky on the counter. "Got it ready for you," I said, trying to sound friendly. He stopped mid-stride. For just a second, his smile faltered. His eyes went completely blank, like someone had unplugged him. Then the smile snapped back into place. "Thank you," he said in that same flat voice. But he didn't move toward the counter. He turned around, walked back outside, got in his car, a beige sedan that I swear looked different every night, and drove away. I thought that was the end of it. Maybe I'd freaked him out by anticipating his order. But at 2:47 a.m. the next night, the door chimed. Mr. Harrison walked in wearing the same gray windbreaker and khaki pants. He went to the coffee station, poured a black coffee, grabbed beef jerky from the rack, and brought him to the counter, like the previous night had never happened. I started keeping a notebook, documenting everything. Time of arrival, always 2:47 a.m. Items purchased, always the same. Amount paid, $4.73 in exact change. What he said, it varied slightly but followed a pattern. What he wore, always identical. After 2 weeks, I had 14 identical entries. On night 15, I tried something different. I removed all the beef jerky from the store during my shift, hiding it in the back room.
When Mr. Harrison came in at 2:47 a.m., I watched him go through his routine. He poured the coffee, walked to the rack where the jerky should be, and reached out his hand. His fingers closed around empty air, but he acted like he was holding something. He walked to the counter and set down the invisible package next to his coffee. "That'll be $4.73, I heard myself say, my voice shaking. He counted out exact change, smiled, and left. I checked the security footage the next morning. On the video, he was holding a package of beef jerky. It was there on the counter. I could see it on the screen, but I was standing right there, and there was nothing in his hand. I should have quit. I should have walked out and never come back. But I needed the job, and some stupid part of me needed to understand what was happening. On night 23, I tried to follow him. When he left at 2:51 a.m., always 4 minutes after arriving, I locked the store and got in my car. His beige sedan pulled onto Route 47 heading north. I followed at a distance. 3 miles up the road, his car approached the old overpass near Miller's Creek. I had driven under that overpass 1,000 times, but as I watched, his car didn't go under it. It drove through the concrete support pillar and disappeared. I slammed on my brakes, heart hammering. I sat there for 10 minutes staring at that pillar. Finally, I drove home, called in sick, and spent the next 2 days trying to convince myself I'd hallucinated the whole thing. But I went back. I always go back. On night 28, I pulled up the local news archives on my phone during a slow period. I searched for accidents on Route 47 near the store. It took me an hour, but I found it. 10 years ago, March 15th, a man named David Harrison, 42, died in a single-vehicle accident on Route 47 at 2:47 a.m. He'd been driving home from his night shift at a packaging warehouse. The article said he fell asleep at the wheel and hit the overpass support pillar at Miller's Creek. He was killed instantly. The photo in the article showed a man in a gray windbreaker. That night, when Mr. Harrison came in at 2:47 a.m., I was ready. I had printed the article and had it on the counter. He went through his routine, coffee, jerky, exact change, but before he could leave, I slid the article across the counter. "Mr. Harrison," I said quietly, "I think you're lost." He looked at the article. For the first time in 28 nights, his expression changed. The blankness cracked, confusion flickered across his face, then recognition, then something that looked like fear. I was going home," he said, his voice different now, uncertain, human. "I was so tired, I just stopped for coffee. I was going home to Sarah. She was waiting. I told her I'd be home by 3. "Mr. Harrison," I said gently, "that was 10 years ago." He looked at me, really looked at me for the first time, his eyes filled with tears. "I can't be late," he whispered. "She's waiting. I promised." The lights in the store flickered. The temperature dropped so fast I could see my breath. "She's not waiting anymore," I said. "You need to let go. You need to go home for real this time." He stood there, the coffee cup trembling in his hand. Then, slowly, he set it down on the counter. He looked toward the door, then back at me. "Will you tell her I tried?" he asked. "Will you tell Sarah I tried to make it home?" Before I could answer, he was gone. Not walking away, just gone. The coffee cup sat on the counter, still steaming. The exact change was still there, $4.73. I looked up Sarah Harrison that morning. She had moved to Oregon 6 years ago to live with her daughter. I found her email through her daughter's Facebook page and sent her a message. I told her that her husband had tried so hard to make it home that night, that his last thoughts were of her, that he kept his promise, even if it took 10 years. She wrote back 3 days later. She said she felt him leave, that for the first time in a decade, the house felt quiet instead of waiting. It's been 4 months now. Mr. Harrison hasn't come back. The store is different at 2:47 a.m., quieter, emptier, but in a peaceful way. I still work the night shift. I still restock the coffee at 2:47 a.m., but now I always keep beef jerky in stock, just in case.